friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade Not Hallmark. Today I've got this fun beach scene featuring some adorable images from Hello Bluebird just in time for summer break and summer vacations. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get my background all ink blended. So I pre-cut everything ahead of time just to save a little bit of time in the video. And I'll have all of the dies and the stamps and everything that I used in the description below if you're interested in what those might be. But I used an arch die. I believe this one is from MFT. And I also used the Hello Bluebird beach scene background. Again, I'll have everything listed in the description below. And I wanted to create this fun like little micro scene using this to create a fun little beach kind of scene. We're getting ready to go on vacation in July and I'm super excited about it. So I really wanted to create a fun little beach card. And this one just reminds me of my kids so much. My little guy, he loves to play in the sand when we go to the beach. He's not much of a let's get in the water kind of guy, but he really does love to play in the sand. So I thought this was fitting just for him. So I'm just using some Distress inks to do all of my ink blending. All of the cardstock I used is Bristol Smooth cardstock. And I'm using these little blender brushes that I used in my last video. I'm really loving them. They're super fun and easy to use, and I've used them with my dye inks and I've used them with my Distress inks. So I like that you can kind of use both. I make sure I clean them off really well in between the uses, but they are really fun to use. So to create my ocean, I really wanted it to be kind of like a gradient starting from light to dark, just like the ocean does. If you've ever been, it's usually lighter towards the sand and it gets darker the further you go out because the deeper it is. So that's what I wanted to kind of create here in this scene to create some depth within the card. So I started out with salvaged patina to create the first layer, and then I went into salty ocean, and then finally I think I went into Mermaid Lagoon. So to create that nice transition between the different layers here to create that fun depth. I am going to speed up the ink blending here a little bit just to kind of get the video moving along. And it's not really anything fantastic. I'm just blending this on here until I'm happy with the blend. I wasn't super concerned about how good the blend was because it's the ocean and I planned on spritzing it with some shimmer spray after I got it all ink blended, so I wasn't super concerned about how good the blend was. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a nice full layer here of the, I think this one is the Mermaid Lagoon, and then I went in with Salty Ocean to finish it off. I really love these colors. I was really in kind of like a blue beachy mood and just getting ready for summer. We had a little spell of cold weather recently. I actually had to put on a winter hat because it was actually that cold, but now we're starting to climb up into the upper temperatures and it's going to be really nice. Everybody's ready for the summer. Kids are out for summer break and they're super excited to do all the wonderful things that we get to do in the summer. So I'm really looking forward to this season this year. Got those all ink blended here. I just wanted to add a little bit of the Mermaid Lagoon just to kind of get the colors to blend a little bit better and make the transition a little bit nicer. Again, you could do this gradient if you wanted to before you did all your die cutting. If you want to do that, I know that there's some pattern papers out there that would look really cool as ocean colors. So there's lots of options when it comes to that. So I'm going to line these back up here and I am going to go ahead and spritz them with some shimmer powder. This was actually shimmer powder, but I used it all up. So I created my own. It's just perfect pearls and some water in this little spritzer. And I just sprayed it one, maybe two times to get a nice even kind of shimmer on there, and it makes some nice oxidation going with the Distress inks. Now I'm going to work on the sand, and sand, I don't really think there's a right or wrong way to create sand as a color. I like to use my browns to create this, like a nice light brown. I'm using brushed corduroy to start with, and then I go in with ground espresso, and I'm kind of like brushing it on, but then I'm also pouncing it in to create some fun texture like sand. Again, there isn't really a right or wrong way to create this. Just go with what you think looks the nicest. I've done sand in the past. I did a card ages ago where I did sand, and I really liked the way that I did it. So I was kind of harping back to the way that I had done that texture to create this one. So I did brush corduroy, and then I'm going in with vintage photo. I'm sorry, I thought I went in with ground espresso, but it's vintage photo. And I'm just going to add that in as well to create the different tones that you get with sand. I personally do not like sand. I know I said we're going to the beach, but I really don't like sand. I'm going to the beach because my family wants to go to the beach. I do not do well in the sun or any type of tropical setting, but I'm going for my family and we're going to have a good time anyway. I will deal with the sand to make my kids happy. But to create some more of the texture, I used that same vintage photo and I smushed it on my mat here, and I'm going to do some splattering just to create the illusion of like the little bits that you get in sand. So I know sand is full of all sorts of things, and it's a hodgepodge of things. So that's kind of what my idea was here. So I did some heavy splattering with this, and then I'm also going to go in and do some heavy splattering with some white gouache. Again, just to create that texture and really make it look like sand. And then here you can see I'm going to go in with that white. Like I mentioned, it's just some plain white gouache. You could use Copic opaque white or any kind of like acrylic paint that's nice and opaque. And I'm going to set this stuff off to the side to dry completely while I work on my stamped images. I just love the way that this turned out. It was so cute. I really like doing these micro scenes lately. It helps me not have to overthink when I want to create a scene card. I think minimizing what I'm creating helps me feel happier about the card that I create. I think whenever I get too involved and I try to make this humongous scene, I'm not happy with the end product. So these micro scenes have been really fun for me. Next, I've pulled out some of the images from the Hello Bluebird set, Beach Play, excuse me, and I'm stamping it down with some Copic friendly ink because I plan on using my Copics today, and I'll have all of the Copics that I'm using on the screen. So if you want to use the same color combinations that I did, they will be listed on the screen for you to see. And I am going to speed up the coloring process because it is a little lengthy and I don't like to talk that much. So I'm going to go ahead and put some music on for you to enjoy while we do the coloring. And when we're all finished, we'll come back and finish the card up together. coloring was finished, I used the coordinating dies to cut out these sweet little images. And now I'm going to go in and add my favorite part, is some nice finishing details with my gel pens. Now this is definitely an optional step. You don't have to do this, but I really wanted to add some dot detail on the sand like I did with the sand that we ink blended. And I like adding white gel pen details to Hello Bluebird images. I just feel like it rounds them out, makes them look super cute and sweet. Again, totally optional. You don't have to do this. This is just a personal preference thing for me, but I really think it made the sand stand out a little bit more, made it look a little bit more realistic, gave it some more fun texture, and just, it was my happy place. So I'm just going in with that white gel pen. I'm going to use it around the edges here just to hide some imperfections with my coloring. And then I wanted to add some little stripes on his little swimsuit here. I just loved this little guy. This was my husband's favorite image as well. He loves this little fox. I think it's because it reminds us of our little guy and how much he loves to play in the sand. So once I was happy with the white gel pen, I went ahead and grabbed my black Jelly Roll pen, and I'm going to just add a little highlight to his nose to make it stand out a little bit more. And those images are all ready to go. So now we can get to working on the other elements for the card. I'm going to get the card base here, and this is just a top folding A2 sized card base with, this is I think 110 pound cardstock from Neenah. And I wanted to stamp another image on the inside of the card just to kind of round it all together. I did leave it blank with a greeting so that this is more of an open-ended card. You can use it for any occasion, but I really just wanted to stamp another one of these sweet images on the inside. So I grabbed the little bear and the little pail that I used on the front of the card, and I am going to stamp that down using some fog ink from Simon. I wanted it to be subtle. It's one of my favorite ways to add images inside of a card, to pull the card together by using this nice gray ink. It just adds enough but doesn't overpower, so you still have room to write whatever you'd like on the inside. And this little bear is super sweet. I think he's so cute. I just love all of the Hello Bluebird images. They're just so adorable and they're perfect for every season. So there we go, all ready to go. Next, I'm going to start building the card. I'm going to go ahead and get my pattern paper and my blue paper adhered to the base. My pattern paper comes from a pattern paper pack, I believe from Honeybee. If I can find it, I'll make sure I list it in the description below. And then I just have some soft navy cardstock here just to create a nice mat to go around my little scene. And I'm just adhering all of these elements nice and flat. The only thing that I am going to pop up is the little characters on my card just to create some dimension and fun to the card. You definitely could adhere everything nice and flat. That's definitely an option, but I wanted to add a little bit of dimension. So after I get these all adhered down and I've got my little scene together, I'm gonna glue everything down for the scene now that everything is nice and dry. I just love this striped paper. I really thought it was perfect for the beach. It reminded me of my little fox's outfit. So I was going to use the clouds that came in this die set, but I decided to leave them off since I already had clouds in the background when I did my ink blending. So I decided to leave those ones out. But I'm going to go ahead here and start stacking up each of the layers on my little scene here, and I just love the way that it comes together. I did add a little bit more ink blending kind of down in between the layers of the sand just to add a little bit of shadow and depth. Again, totally optional, you can leave this out. I don't know if it really made a difference or not, but in my mind it did, so that's why I did it. I just wanted to add a little bit of separation between those two. Gonna go ahead and adhere that down as well using the same liquid glue I used earlier. And this was so fun. I loved creating this little scene. And you can definitely use this idea for other maybe scene dies that you might have. I know Hello Bluebird has quite a few. To create some scenes, you could definitely do these little micro scenes. I could see this doing something like this with all of the images that it's in this set, and do a whole bunch of these little backgrounds all at once, these little micro scenes, and then just adding in your little images to create something different. So you could have a whole set of cards using this Hello Bluebird set and creating that fun little set of cards. I think that would be a good gift. Gonna get this last piece adhered down here, and then this is where I decided like I didn't need to put that layer of clouds in because I had ink blended just enough clouds to create my ocean. and the ocean kind of nice and flat like the horizon as it goes off into the distance, and I was super happy with it. I loved it so much. I definitely could see myself creating another one of these. So I'm going to get my little critters here all lined up the way I want them, so then I can decide on where I'm going to put my sentiment. I am going to use the sentiment from the same set. It says Sending Sunshine. I'm also going to be using that same soft navy cardstock, and I'm going to heat emboss using some clear embossing ink and Brutus Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder. I'm going to go ahead and get that stamped down on there. I did prep my cardstock with an anti-static powder so that the embossing powder will only go where I want it. And after I get that all done, I am going to be using a banner die, just one from my stash, to cut this out. You can definitely just freehand cut it, or use a paper trimmer to cut this out. I'm going to go ahead and get that heated up. And now that I definitely have all of my elements ready to go for my card, I can finally get to adhering. So I'm just using some 3D foam squares. These are from Darice. They're nice and they give some dimension, but they don't give a ton. And you can also see there that I also cut out a little sun. I figured that there was a little bit of empty space up in the top part of the card, so I wanted to add the sun in there because it says Sending Sunshine, and I didn't have a sun in my card. So I'm going to go ahead, I just cut that out using one of my nested circle dies, and then I just ink blended it with, I believe I used fossilized amber to create that little sun, and I'm going to adhere it in the top of my card as well, just to add to the scene. Going to get the little fox adhered there with his fun little sand castle. Super cute. I love this so much. His little pail, and then I'm going to get the greeting, do the same. I'm going to just use some Darice 3M foam strips to get that adhered and popped up. I just love the way that this little card turned out. So cute. I'm going to get that attached there. And for some reason my foam adhesive didn't want to stick. I don't know why. Like the one corner of it wouldn't stick down, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So I just used a little bit of liquid glue to get that, and then we're going to get that nice and straight on there. Super cute. And then get my little sun attached as well. I'm just going to use some foam squares to attach that as well. Once I have all of my elements on there and I'm super happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of shimmer and shine to the card as well. I added a little bit of sparkle using a Stardust glitter pen to the sand and to the little fox's outfit, and that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this fun micro beach scene using some fun images from Hello Bluebird. And if you did, please consider hitting the like button as well as the subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying all of the content here on my YouTube channel. I can't wait to share with you guys some more videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! On screen, I have a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Please consider hitting the like button as well as the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel.